Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Schooner Pod Rewind. I'm the host of the Schooner Pod, Bobby Howard. And frankly, we are bored as hell in quarantine, and the only thing we can think about really is sports and how much we miss them. So we decided, you know what? Let's do a couple reflections of our favorite games. So I got with me today, making her Schooner Pod debut, Darielle. How are you doing?
Howdy, y'all. I'm good. I'm ready for some sports.
Yeah, welcome to the pod. So for this rewind, we're specifically looking at one of my personal favorite games, a game you and I both attended.
Yes.
From 2015, the OU Baylor game.
Absolute classic.
Oh, classic for sure. And for me, I think this is the moment where OU took that first big step into this era.
Absolutely. It started off pretty slow and pretty painful, but it got so much better, and it's a really great game overall.
Yeah, without a doubt. So what we're going to do, we're going to watch the condensed version. Shout out to John Hawkins on YouTube for creating a condensed version of this game, because we don't want to sit here 2 hours. So we're going to just kind of provide our little commentary, some thoughts, some facts, what's, kind of aged the best, what's aged worse. So,
Get ready for some prime Baker. It's going to be great.
Yeah, an absolute classic from Baker Mayfield. So, without further ado, here we go. Let's get this thing going.
Let's go.
So, opening kickoff is the opening kickoff, of course. But this is OU's first game in McLean Stadium. So.
Yes, it's an interesting stadium. It's so much smaller than OU Stadium. It's kind of insane.
For sure. It kind of shaped like a toilet bowl. That's okay. Horrible coverage there. OU had a kind of... Everyone talks about Orlando Brown, great O-lineman, but, early on kind of struggled. That was a pretty tough 3-and-out right there. You did get to see young D.D. Westbrook.
Yes, Baylor was so loud during that first opening drive, and I really think they thought they had us in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely early, but, getting that first 3-and-out can be so huge.
Well, then
this is just classic OU. I mean, this is the first time we've seen Baylor since that abysmal Mike Stoops game. Everyone remembers it. That traditional home game where they're playing 5 off. So the entire season leading up to this, OU was pretty good. One loss being that bad Texas loss, but everyone always pointed to this Baylor game as this is when everything's going to get exposed, because this Baylor team was rolling, and you can really see it on this first drive. Because this is prime Baylor. I would be willing to argue. And there's that Baylor touchdown right there. Fantastic running.
And this is a prime example of how hard defense would always start so painfully flat in these games.
Yeah, and it's carried on, so not a great little thing by Mixon there. I will say this. It's one of those things where Baylor felt so unstoppable at this moment in time. And that even though Bryce Petty was out for the season, Jared Stidham, you didn't think he'd miss a beat because of everything they had around him. Corey Coleman,
Corey Coleman for Heisman.
Yeah, Heisman candidate Corey Coleman at the time. So.
Also, can we just talk about how the linemen, I know it's a move, it's a thing, but they just lay down. And it works sometimes, but then it also really doesn't work sometimes. And it's just very comedic to me.
You gotta love the cut block. It's a strategy. Just make sure they, there's nowhere to really run if there's a dude laying there, and so this has been a pretty penalty-heavy game.
Yeah, well, and I miss Trey Sermon. Just P. Ryan.
I miss him too already.
I miss everyone.
He's 2 years away from getting on campus, but I miss him.
The hole in my heart is already there.
No, we all miss him. That Mixon... You really forget how he runs sometimes. Those little bitty jukes, and then P. Ryan with a great touchdown. Both of those guys were so good at little adjustments in the way they ran. Obviously, that second drive, much better than the first.
We were so black that first drive. Well, and something that you may not know if you've never been to a Baylor game, at Baylor, is one of their favorite chants is just saying kill over and over again while waving their little bear paws. And not gonna lie, it's kind of terrifying.
Huge fumble there in Baylor territory. No, I completely forgot that happened. Yeah, that's a turning point right there. Here's Reggie Smith again calling another foul, as is usual.
Third and 26 is a rough look.
And another. There. Okay, that's very Baker right there. Look at him go! Like,
he's doing a great job.
How the hell did he get How did he gain even 1 yard there? Kind of a squandered possession there. And that's the thing about this game is OU played really well, but it wasn't a perfect game by any means.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, you can see that from our very first play from scrimmage that it's nowhere near a perfect game.
There's Corey Coleman, another a catch there, just a bit out of bounds. I will say this. I don't know why Baylor went away from the running game so early, because it was super effective on that first drive. You can see here, just from the get-go, they kind of abandoned it a little early. I don't get
Too early, I would argue.
Oh, way too early. Way too early.
I mean, I'm okay with it, but...
Yeah, it ended up working all right, but... I don't know. That pair of running backs they had, I thought were very effective. So, that's a patented Mike Stoops defense right there. Gave him a million different chances to stop him, and out of bounds.
Catch? Technically. Just not where it counts.
He's out of bounds. Oh, I know. 3rd and 9 right here, Stidham, it's kind of weird thinking about Stidham because he's in the NFL now, and the Patriots... Oh, wait, hold on. Little kick there from Stidham. I did not know he could do that. I forgot about that. But it's weird seeing Stidham because this game feels like it was 40 years ago, but now he's just finally out of college, supposedly going to be the starting quarterback for the Patriots, assuming they don't sign anyone new. Pretty crazy.
I mean, he got it back, which is better than nothing, but not great.
Yeah, that was giving me Jalen, flashbacks on that one.
Flashback of Jalen happened after that?
It was like a reverse flashback, I guess. Another 3 and out. Great coverage by Jordan Nelson. That was great. The defense is starting to kind of come alive a little bit. I think, this team always. I don't know. The defense was solid. You were really good up front, and some of those guys like, Nelson really, they really showed up. Dom Alexander, another great linebacker. Kind of a defensive struggle early, entering the second. So, I believe this is where things kind of get a little more spicy for OU. Of course, another hold. Thanks, Reggie. Pirine was such a good one.
We haven't had that amount of strength in a runner in a while.
I don't think ever. Ugh. 2016 Hollywood, or not Hollywood, sorry. 2016 Dede would have caught that.
Well, and this is a sneaky year for Dede because he wasn't bad, but he wasn't on the same caliber as he was in the following season, so he kind of goes under the radar. And it's only now watching it back that we're like, oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, imagine if we had 2016 Dede Westbrook with this version of Sterling Shepard, who puts on a clinic in this game.
Oh, again?
It was really rainy this game.
We were underneath the
little
edge,
awning,
which
just
helped.
barely. But you can really tell the effects early on, especially for Baker. That's his second time the ball slipped out of his hands. Brilliant.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a great. This is one of the best pylon cam touchdowns of all time.
Oh, I wish
and of
they
course
would've shown that.
Of course, the cut doesn't show it, but
Which is fair.
absolute fantastic catch from Sterling. Getting his body in position, reaching out for the pylon. Incredible touchdown. At this point, we're freaking out.
Did we miss that extra point?
Wait, I think we did.
It didn't show it, but yeah, it's 13-6. We missed it.
Yeah, I guess we missed it. Well, thankfully they missed theirs.
Yeah.
Baylor's offense is kind of boring looking right now. I know I said they should have kept running the ball, but they surprisingly timid for an Art Briles offense.
I don't mind the 4 and out, though.
Nice pump there.
Whoop.
Great play with Shep in space.
There were some times where I wish Baker wouldn't have taken the hits that he did, and they were typically successful. But there's sometimes I'm like, just go
He
rebounds.
never got injured. That's a pretty bad pick right there. These Baylor cornerbacks were pretty solid, actually. Really good job of jumping that route. Again, Stidham, not a very good runner.
No.
I mean, we knew that. I really need to pull up a depth chart for Baylor because I do not remember the names of these running backs at all.
How dare you? You should remember
But
all
30,
of this.
32 and 32 and 28 were good.
Wow.
There's Mike Stoops. There he is. Honestly, looking at the score, time 4 minutes left, up 7. I thought we had a chance to win, but to see it actually happening at that time, because OU wasn't OU like the OU we know now at this point.
This game was very high stakes.
I mean, yeah, it was for a playoff spot.
Bob was mad.
At the time, we were fringe. I mean, 12 in the country, Baylor. I know Baylor is technically 6th here, but they spent most of that season ranked 2nd in the AP.
Yep.
And then they got dipped by the CFP because they didn't play nobody.
They ain't play nobody, Paul.
Exactly. But having this game tied at halftime, we were all freaking out because Baylor was a big deal back then.
Oh, yeah.
I remember before the game, one of your friends, because you're from Houston, who went to Baylor, honestly, not even trying to talk any shit, just being purely honest, predicted Baylor to win by 40 as a respectable score.
Genuinely believed it. And I mean, I get it. OU, we didn't look bad, but we hadn't really hit our stride yet. And Baylor was on fire at this point.
I mean, we'd had some, solid games. I mean, Tennessee, I know a lot of people look back on that. Vols team wasn't great. But, I mean, for us, we thought they did. That great Flowers catch right there. What a great drive by Lincoln Riley here.
Wonderful run by Baker. That was such a good play call, too.
With the awesome, he takes the ball and shoves it into the ground. That's a great last minute type of drive that really, OU needed that drive right there to keep the momentum, keep the pressure on Baylor.
Well, and being able to carry the lead into halftime is huge.
Oh yeah, keep the momentum going. Especially on the road.
Oh, that
it's
was
so
a
important.
great stat right there, too.
Yeah.
They were averaging 650 yards per game prior to OU, and at half going in, they only had 200 yards of offense.
I mean,
Which speaks to our defense, actually, that, I don't know, watching it back, it's like, some good moments, but not the best we played.
I mean, you can tell this OU team's not scared. Yeah, they came in completely unintimidated, and why would they? They played in Neyland.
Second half.
Yeah, second half. They played in Neyland Stadium earlier this year. Little McLean Stadium was nothing to them.
That stadium is quite small.
Speaking of McLean, you had been to the actually the previous stadium for that horrible 2013 game.
Yep.
How much of an upgrade was this?
Oh my gosh, so much better. The bathrooms in the old stadium was literally full of water. It was not raining.
It was just
The
flooding
floor
for no
was
reason.
just flooded. It was disgusting and old, and they needed the new stadium desperately. And they didn't really increase size capacity. But at least, your feet don't get wet when going to the bathroom. Like, that's a win.
Sounds like they made the Cotton Bowl women's restrooms look like the Taj Mahal.
Oh, yeah, and that's bad. That's saying a lot.
That's saying quite a bit. See, these running backs, pretty solid. Stidham did not have a huge game. Neither did Corey Coleman. Baylor kind of ran their way on this game. Very impressive. Like, not impressive, but kind of surprising looking back. Because that's not what they're known for. So, another great run for P. Ryan. He's just been such a tough runner in this game. And I'm just waiting for his touchdown. He has that one specific breakaway touchdown.
Right.
it's coming.
Well, and the tension in the stands right now was so palpable. Like, we were behind the Pride.
Oh, what a
I had forgotten
what a
about this
run from
run!
Baker. Look at
Oh, yeah!
I never think of Baker as a great running quarterback, but he
But
could
he
pull it down and
was.
sprint.
Ooh!
Baby Mark Andrews. Great touchdown from Shed.
Make sure that extra.
Yeah.
We were sitting behind the Pride for this game, and y'all, they get down.
It was
They're
fun.
so hype constantly, and it's the best.
I will say this, and I don't mean to make it about talking about how cool our experience was, but sitting right behind the Pride in the tuba section, your heart dropped because you can't see anything at all.
Bobby had a moment.
I did, but they do dip their tubas, and it's a good time.
They're very respectful.
Very respectful.
They also will get
very
you hyped
respectful
up.
tubas. This is
Oh,
the run.
there it is.
There it is. This is
Woo!
the run. And
That speed and that stiff arm right there.
yeah, you don't think of Pirine as like a big breakaway speed type of guy, but he's had. I mean, he could turn it on at times.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, most of his yards against Kansas were track meets like that. So, I mean, at this point, up 14, this is when it becomes really real, and it feels like OU is going to do this, I think.
The stadium, though, at this point is not quiet at all.
No, I mean,
Baylor fully believes that they are still in this.
yeah, and then the 3 and out here. I mean, Baylor makes a little run. Well, spoiler alert. But
How dare you?
But at this point, at least with the OU faithful, it's like, oh, this isn't a fluke, and
We're holding on to this thing.
oh yeah, because I mean Tennessee, great game, great comeback, but
Tennessee wasn't at the same caliber as Baylor was this season.
yeah, I mean this was the first tough team we played. I mean, oh my gosh, obviously it wasn't as intense as the Red October from 2000, but this is the first game in the run of Baylor, TCU, and Oklahoma State, which was massive.
Well, and too, the slog and the rain and everything, too, it adds a different layer to it because you've got to be real good.
Yeah, we hadn't been truly tested, and we lost to a pretty bad Texas team at this point. So a lot of pressure, really good D-line. This might be one of the best, probably the best D-line we've had.
Yes. It was.
I don't think we've had a D-line better than this.
They worked so well as a unit.
And see, now Baylor's starting to get more aggressive. Come on. Oh, my God. What was that? Hold on.
I had forgotten about that.
What in the world was that?
Oh, they should have had that.
Oh, my God. He blew it. That dude blew it.
4th and 8.
I mean, you gotta. And it works,
and it
you know?
did. So, I mean, I get it.
Oh, my God. He blew that. Oh, and then the Laquan Treadwell touchdown.
Yes.
People, this is when I was worried. This was when I started to get worried because that right there was
oh my gosh, they were so excited.
the Fat Guy touchdown was. I mean, the stadium was back to life just like that.
Well, and the amount of times too that they then used that video like for future games and future hype videos was ridiculous. It was everywhere.
Oh yeah, I mean it was. Ugh. I mean. Sorry, Laquan McGowan. Laquan Treadwell is a much thinner wide receiver. But, oh my God, it's just, I mean, the stadium is right back in it. And another, kind of a tough drive to follow it up here, but.
I will say, Baylor fans are very good at staying in the stands and staying loud. And you can definitely feel that in a game like this. And I think the team handled it well, but being in the stands watching as an opponent, you're like, oh, you're still so loud.
Yeah, and I mean, they kind of were quiet. Oh! Zach Sanchez! What the heck?
One of his few good plays. That's harsh. I apologize.
Here's the thing. We were so spoiled in 2015, and it's one of those things where we don't even look back and appreciate Sanchez. But he has 2 great plays here down the stretch. That one included. Say what you will about him, he would gamble a lot, but but at least he would make a couple interceptions. Some of our corners don't do that as much. Young Seibert here.
And he knocks it through the final quarter. This kick will not reach the
Had
end
a kind
zone.
of cold season with the Browns, which was surprising because he was so reliable at OU.
That was a horrible. This is a really good return. It's a really good return here. Dang.
That's what's so fun about watching this so long after. I remember some of these plays that didn't really lead to scores.
No. They've been. I mean, our defense has been in that backfield all day long.
Ooh, ooh.
A lot of great prep.
Oh, that
Charles
was
Tapper, man.
beautiful.
Tapper, such an underrated D-lineman.
He did not get enough credit.
No, great spot. Great. I remember this This is one of the best. This is probably my favorite drive of the season.
Of the whole season.
I know that says something with Tennessee, but as far as a drive goes, never mind.
I was like, I don't understand.
I got mixed up. I thought this was the drive that ended in the Flowers touchdown.
No, we
That
already
is
had
not
that.
that is not my favorite drive of the season.
I don't understand.
I got mixed up. I apologize.
There was a great play by Baker by not taking.
Please delete. It's
Not
the
taking
one
a
right
safety.
after this. It's the one right after this because Baylor goes down and scores right here.
Whoop. Oh.
Pressure's on at this point.
Because, I mean, there's a lot of time. There's 10 minutes left.
Oh yeah, I mean
But-
Baylor still could have won this thing by 2 touchdowns. This is the drive. I apologize.
It's going to make a lot more sense.
See, this is why you rewatch the games. You know, get a better view. It's not starting well. This might not be the drive. Oh yeah, this might not be the drive either.
Random close up of Baylor guys. Yeah,
Oh, that's
horse
right.
collar.
No, wait, that's right. It totally is.
Called it.
Great call there. This might be Baker's best running game.
Yeah.
This is one of his best. He's had several of those really good 10-yard scrambles.
Well, and he picked good times to do them. They may not have always been safe, but it made sense. It wasn't like, this would be a fun
It's a nice little kind of Statue of Liberty-ish play. Not that wasn't Statue of Liberty. It was just a cool little. Great work of Shep for Shep to get in space there.
Tapping the ball so nicely.
Yeah. 3rd and goal. Here it is. Play of the season.
He had so much time.
The
Look
Chris-
at that O-line.
Yeah, no, and then he finds Flowers back it right there.
Woo!
The Chris Fowler call's amazing. That was one of the most hype I've ever been. I think probably ever.
Because we don't
For
have it
an NBA.
cemented, but we're like, okay, I'm feeling a whole lot more comfortable now.
Well, yeah, I mean, we just had a really crappy 4-and-out. It looked like our drive was dead in the water there, and there's the pick.
Ooh!
You were in the bathroom for that. I think.
I was. It was
I
very
remember
sad.
sprinting out to you at the concourse about it.
It was so sad.
That's when the game was. I feel
That's
like
when,
really
yeah,
over.
you know.
That Sanchez sealing this game, that was huge.
Well, I mean, you're up 10 with 4 minutes. Like, you can burn clock.
Yeah, especially when you have P. Ryan and Mixon.
That's when you really
Just
gotta
run
rely
the
on
damn
your
ball.
run game.
Just
Yeah.
run the damn ball, which is what we did. Good on Lincoln for that.
Ooh, good run
See,
by Baker.
another great Baker run. And there's the knee. So,
Woo!
and such began the Baker Mayfield era at Oklahoma.
It had already begun, but that was his game that you're like, okay, this guy's legit.
This is the game where OU took control of the Big 12 again. And
Yes.
we're still here. And it's great. Baylor has since reset.
Baylor has not done as well since this game as we have, quite obviously.
Well, no, of course not. But I will say that a lot of people say it's that Tennessee game.
I think it's this Baylor
I think
game.
it's the Baylor game because we unseated a team who had frankly dominated the Big 12 for years, dominated OU for years.
Absolutely.
So overall, who is your MVP for this one?
That's hard. I don't know, because Baker had so many great last minute decisions in that game, but then also P. Ryan really helped us kind of run out that clock and had so many power runs. I don't know. That's a hard one.
He also did have that breakaway touchdown.
Absolutely.
I mean, Mayfield, great game. Did have the one pick. I think for me it's either Sterling Shepard or Pirine, but I think you got to give it to Samaje Pirine for controlling the pace. That game-breaking touchdown he had really changed the game. Really turned the tables completely against Baylor. So I'm gonna give it to Samaje Pirine.
Great.
Okay, yeah.
You convinced me. Good job.
I will say I think Baker.
Baker's the honorable mention.
I think the only reason I'm not picking Baker is because I think it's a cop-out. Because also Baker, I mean, that was one of his most crafty games he's ever put together. So
I just think you saw a lot of smarts for him in that game.
Yeah, I think he definitely, I mean, again, incredible stat line, incredible decision-making. He knew when to tuck and run. This is definitely the moment where we saw, I think this is the most complete game he played in 2015, without a doubt. So, actually, no. Maybe I'm going to give the MVP to Mayfield, but there are a lot of stars in this. If we're going hockey style and doing 3 stars, it's Baker, Pirine, and Shep. Great performance. Yeah, again, hockey style. So, yeah. So, all right, that's our first episode of the Schooner Pod Rewind. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Write in, let us know what other games you want us to rewatch.
Yeah.
Our hot takes on.
Yeah, for sure. So, Darielle, thanks for coming on. I mean, not like you had anything better to do, but yeah, we're going to be doing a couple more of these. Maybe some more guests. Different people here and there. We might bring on some friends of the pod. Maybe people. Obviously, we'll bring old favorites like Ty and Jameson back, but this was a good time.
Yeah.
Darielle, thanks for coming on. So,
Welcome.
all right. Well, until next time, Boomer Sooner.